So, looking back,
Mhm.
do you have like a distinct random Jets game from like, it doesn't matter if it was like a couple years ago or like back at like 10 years ago? Like, do you have
Yeah.
a game that just like for some reason it was
Haunts
like
me.
meant like a good one, positive one, like one that
Ooh.
like it doesn't have to be like a playoff win, but it could be. It's one
Mhm.
that like meant a lot to you, or like one that you were like maybe you had like a rough week or something, a rough day, or and it was like
Yeah.
one that you're like hell yeah, like it sparked you. Do you have any random game like that comes to mind?
It's
That
bittersweet. It's
jars in
cursed.
memory.
Well, okay, so I became a Jets fan in 2010,
Yeah.
but those like first, I guess like 8-ish years, I wasn't like attuned to the team so as much as
Yeah.
I was. It was the Sam Darnold draft year that I really like became like fully invested.
Gotcha.
So it was that week 1 against the Lions
That was good.
where we like.
That was super exciting.
But like looking back, that game, it was exciting because everything was fire. Like we were firing on all cylinders. But the thing is though, is that was also the culture's changed game,
I know.
and none of that was really sustainable. Like yeah, we got Sam bombed to Robbie, which was sick. But like
Bro, Quincy Enunwa,
yeah,
that was Debo Samuel before Debo Samuel.
literally that spin move thing that he did,
And he, like,
man. Extended.
That was a game one. I was like, we
Yeah.
have like he's gonna be a playmaker.
I'm blanking on the running back right now.
Chris Ivory.
No,
No, we had
it was the guy who wiped his ass in the end zone.
Isaiah Crowell.
Crowell. He go off for like a 60-yarder that game? Was
I
it
think
Crowell?
so. Crowell was good. He had that game that year against the Broncos
Where
that
he,
was
like, put up
insane.
250 or
yeah,
whatever.
I think that was like a single game. Like I think that's like still
a franchise record.
Yeah, against the Broncos.
And against the Browns, he wiped his ass and he got sponsored by the toilet paper company,
Yeah.
which is elite, by the way. I think that's hilarious. What about you? Do you have a game that warms your heart? and
That's a good one.
Your loins.
A personal favorite that was always so sweet for me was probably there's a couple, but like one that I think initially comes to mind is the wild card game in 2010 against the Colts.
Yeah.
The drive at the end was insane.
Mhm.
To get the game winner with Nick Folk was
Yeah.
super fun. LT got 2 touchdowns, which was my favorite player at the time.
The game also breaks my heart in a way because it was like, I don't know. I feel like could have been our year.
I know. It was our last playoff. It's
Yeah.
sad to think about, but
Yeah.
that game I was
Sick game,
so,
though.
yeah.
Unreal game.
And like Sanchez had some good plays, but like
Mhm.
some of the bombs that he made to like Braylon were like
Yeah.
insane. So yeah, that was probably my favorite. But yeah, spoilers.
Yeah.
And we're back. Jets Up North, episode 18.
Yeah.
Hope you had a good Christmas holidays. Hope it was big chillin'. Had a lot of hot cocoa and stuff
This
like that.
video is definitely in the future, after Christmas.
Yeah. It definitely didn't just happen. We definitely didn't just record this or record last week's and
No,
then
we
move all
didn't.
the stuff
Yeah.
off and change.
The set is different. We look different.
Yeah.
Clearly different.
Duh.
time.
Anyways, I hope you had a good Christmas if you're
Mhm.
watching, because you'll be watching this after Christmas. I
Yeah.
hope you had a good Christmas.
I hope I had a good
Hope-
Christmas.
And me, yeah.
Yeah.
We're back again. So we actually don't know the score of the Jets game.
Yeah.
They haven't played the Commanders yet, or
Mhm.
who they play after? Browns on Thursday night.
Browns,
So we
right.
don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Do we
though.
want to know?
I'm guessing if we. If
This
I'm-
is amazing. We're like, ignorance is bliss. We're
Yeah.
just like big chilling right now.
I bet we split those games. I think we
Yeah.
win one and lose one. I don't know
Yeah.
which one though. That's
Yeah,
my guess.
fair.
But I feel like the loss is going to be also just gut wrenching. I feel like it'll be like one we should have won, and the fans are like, "What's going on with this offense?"
Classic.
Yeah.
That sounds like every game.
That
Do you-
sounds like
Do
this
you know
one.
how little that narrows it down? To
So it's like every game so far
Every
this year.
game.
We're back. Today we're going to talk about just a couple things. We're doing a little off-season exercise, just talking as like what we would do,
Mhm.
what Cole and Adam would do, as
Mhm.
if we were kind of in the chair, in the role of like owner GM of the Jets.
Yeah.
And then after that, I put together a little fun game for Adam to see if he could name. I wish I had we had a live
a-
audience, like name the Jet, yeah, and like there's game show music, and I'm like Steve Harvey,
And I'm like
basically.
running up to like spin this wheel.
Yeah,
up
have you
here.
seen that clip of like Aaron Paul on
Yeah.
like
on-
Price is Right
Price
back
is
in the day?
Right.
He's like, I love you, Bob. Yeah. before he was Jesse.
That's peak.
So I got. Anyways, we'll get to that in a bit. But we got a
Mhm.
little game show in the next little
Mhm.
bit. But
Mhm.
that's kind of what we got going on this week. First things. So initially, we talked about it last episode how the Jets were eliminated from playoffs. So there's no offseason for us.
Yep.
We got to start talking about some other things. So guess what, baby? It's offseason exercise time. Who are we drafting? Who are we signing? Who are we trading away? Who are we trading for? We're gonna talk about that now.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna kick it off to you first things
Yeah.
first. So give me some thoughts on big moves, not even big moves, just moves. If you were Woody Johnson or JD, things that you would do this offseason and focus on with the Jets.
Yeah. Well, I would seriously consider Hackett's future with the team for
Yeah.
one.
If you would you fire him,
Hmm.
or do you think he's like you're on thin ice, pal?
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I said this not last episode or the episode before that. It was 2 episodes ago now, but it unfortunately comes down to Rodgers and what Rodgers wants probably. If Rodgers is like, yo, you got to give my boy Hack another chance, you really think they're going to fire him?
Yeah,
Probably not.
I know you don't want to disgruntle him.
Yeah, so it's like it kind of comes down to that. I don't know. I genuinely don't know if I would fire him. It's hard to answer that question, but I would seriously of all the coaches on the team, I think he's the one that you have to think about the most and with his future.
Yeah.
What else? I would start looking at defensive coordinator replacements because I think Jeff might get a few interviews coming up this offseason.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see. That part's always fun with teams
Yeah.
when they have offensive and defensive
Totally.
coordinators. Like I know like the Lions offensive coordinator is very hot. I forget his name, but he's a very hot
Did you
name
see
right
he reportedly is
Wants
requesting
15 mil or
yeah,
whatever? That's
isn't that
crazy.
insane.
But like I mean the Lions are one of the best teams in football right
Totally.
now.
So I guess
turnaround.
warranted. I guess
I rewatched
mean,
that clip came up on my feed of like that game 2 years ago in their first year with Dan Quinn and Goff where they were like didn't have a win yet.
Yeah.
And they beat the Vikings on the last play and how like electric that was. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's cool now that they've turned it
I
around.
remember that.
And are like a top 3 team in the NFC.
Yeah.
Good
for them.
I'll probably be like I always pick like when the Jets don't make playoffs in a year. I always kind of have like pick a team with a
and
cool
yours is the
story,
Lions, yeah.
and that's probably gonna be the Lions this year for me to.
It's
root
not
on.
fair watching the Lions and the Texans have a
Quick
successful
turnaround.
rebound before us, man. It's not
The
fair.
Jaguars. I know we're doing laps around our rebuild. Yeah. What else is there? Is there like I agree with your 2 statements.
Yeah.
I think with Hackett, I think he stays. I think like I
Yeah.
mentioned before, I think it's a short leash kind of situation next year. Ulbrich, my guess, what I feel in my gut is that you'll get interviews, but I
But
don't
you
think
won't get hired.
not yet.
Yeah, no,
I think
not yet.
if the Jets had a couple more wins this year,
I
then
think
maybe
after next year he'll get poached.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so that's what I think with like definitely like the front office side.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if like maybe like they try to do something with like I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what part of the staff because of all the injuries. Like, do you get like can you get like a new like fit like a regeneration team? You know what I'm talking about?
You
Like
could do
doctors and
something
stuff like
that.
or like I don't know, but they probably don't do
Okay, well,
those types of
okay,
changes.
so it says here if you're Woody or JD.
Yeah.
If I was Woody, I'd be looking at turf.
There we go.
That's an acquisition.
There we
I'd be
go.
making.
Great one.
But
Like
not
the actual
turf. Sorry, I'd be
grass.
looking at actual grass to replace the turf.
I think it's going to be an interesting conversation this offseason with that because of how many injuries and big names kind of got
Yeah.
injured on turf this year. I think
Totally.
maybe like I'm kind of hoping that like the NFLPA
Yeah, how is the
brings
Players
that-
Association not done anything about it yet? It's
I feel like they'd have to
ridiculous.
wait till like the next bargaining agreement,
Yeah.
which I don't even know when
But
that
is
is.
it true?
but-
I might be completely wrong with this. Is it true some stadiums like cannot even like have real grass? Like, can the Bills have?
I don't
real
know.
grass? Like,
Maybe because the like
do they
climate.
have? Maybe they have it already.
I
I
thought
don't
the
even
Bills were
know.
one of the teams that do. I know the
Yeah.
Cardinals do for sure. That's the only one
Yeah,
that I
they're the
know.
ones
And
that
Green
pull
Bay.
it out of the stadium,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
I think I read something somewhere like some stadiums couldn't do it or something. Some BS. like that.
Well, Greg can look into that.
Greg can look
and
into
confirm,
that.
but
Yeah.
I definitely think that would be something worth looking into. We've been fortunate enough this year that like the guy like aside from Rodgers and a couple other big names, but at least like Quinn's been healthy, Quincy,
Sauce,
Garrett,
Breeze,
like
yeah.
DJ Reed, like kind of like
The
the
core-
least,
I was saying it to Ryan last or 2 episodes ago. Like those are the guys. If we like win a Super Bowl with this team, those are the guys who are gonna make like they're gonna be the impact players.
yeah,
So it's like it's good to see them progressing and staying healthy.
yeah.
Like knock on wood, obviously, but like
Yeah.
those are the guys.
They took that leap.
If let's say the Jets make a Super Bowl run next year, 20 years from now we'll be looking back and be like, remember that team? Sauce, Reed, Garrett, Brees. Those are the guys.
That draft class. I'm excited to see Jermaine Johnson this next year take another step forward. He could actually take that leap and be like I could see him being like a defensive player of the year type candidate.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
Very exciting. Now looking into kind of shifting it more into like the personnel side of things. Going into the off season, let's say knowing, let's say we have in our pocket that top 6, 7, 8 draft pick. What kind of positions are you kind of attacking? Let's say free agency first.
I think I'm looking all offense.
Yeah,
and
we
even
probably
in
want to
free
have a ton of
agency
money.
Too, like
we're gonna free up some money. Like Conklin, or sorry, not Conklin. Uzomah's probably gonna be off the books. Carl, Dalv. Lakin might get restructured.
Yeah.
But Dwayne Brown will be gone, so that's gonna free up some like money here and there, which will allow them to make the moves.
But we have to probably extend or re-sign Huff.
I know.
Odds are.
But Huff is going to be probably making what Carl makes now.
Yeah.
Which is
maybe like 18 is like the high end of.
Because I think Carl's at like 12 to 15 or something like that.
I think he's 15 right now.
Yeah, so like up to 18. That's fine. I could see it being like a 2-year deal.
And Lazard might get restructured too.
I hope Lazard gets cut.
Yeah, honestly.
Pay that dead cap. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those moves. So like you're obviously Bryce Huff is you made a really good point that it's a key re-signing there.
My priority is O-line though, all the way through.
Yeah.
And I obviously like receiver too, and honestly we need an RB too as well. Like I don't know if Izzy can be that. I think Izzy could be like an elite RB3.
Yeah. He obviously this is very much a redshirt year. He is very young. Though.
Maybe
20.
next year he's just a baller. Like,
he takes that step.
Yeah, who knows?
You never know. Maybe he trains with the right.
I'm not going to worry
right?
about RB2 though. My priority is on O-line.
I'd say a vet quarterback.
Yeah.
Backup somewhere. So
Kirk Cousins. It's
I
still
know.
happening.
If the Kirk Cousins happens, I'll be crazy. I just feel like because he's a starter to me.
I joke about that. I don't actually like think that would happen, but like I think that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
I think that'd be hilarious.
Him and Rodgers and Kirk.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And then we draft a guy like late draft pick.
Yeah,
as a quarterback.
Caleb Williams in the 4th.
Yeah,
it's too easy.
And then gets to learn underneath two of the coolest dudes in the league. Hey. That's the formula. I like that. I think.
Yeah.
I think getting a veteran quarterback like a Minshew-esque, Jacoby Brissett-esque type guy. Jim Garoppolo is out there, and you can get him like on a good Josh Johnson to throw a deep ball first play of the game.
That's the meme. Is I'm gonna mention Josh Johnson every episode.
The journeyman.
Yeah.
But could be a guy like that. I don't know, but I mean, he's with the Ravens now. I think the Ravens in their all-black quarterback room.
Yeah, that's good for them.
Good for them, man. They just signed Cunningham a month ago.
Did they?
Yep, from the
I
Patriots.
missed that.
Added him, which I think is sweet because I think what's his face, Tyler Huntley's a free agent who could get. I actually don't mind him. He helped the Ravens get to the playoffs last year, which is
actually
crazy.
Funny, like how similar he is to Lamar in play style.
Yeah,
and the way even the way he throws is like looks the same as Lamar. It's just funny when backups kind of like emulate their starter in a way. I can't remember who it was. A lot of Tom's backups too kind of like emulated him in a way too. It's almost
Garoppolo.
like Jimmy G. That's a great example. It's like they just come in.
The replacement of Mac Jones is very much Tom Brady. Like,
what's his name? The replacement for Mac Jones. That's gonna bother me now.
The replacement for Mac Jones. Oh, Bailey Zappi.
Yeah, Bailey Zappi.
Yeah,
that was
the Zap attack. Yeah. Exactly. So now, so you're spending a lot of money. We talked about offensive line, re-signing Huff, maybe helping out that bolster that D line. I think if you have a little bit of chump change left after that, I think I would throw in like a safety, just to compete with like
maybe Chuck Clark comes back and we like.
I totally forgot about Chuck Clark. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
He's older though, isn't he? Like 30 almost.
I think he's 28 or 20. But still, like safety, like I mean, some of those guys play in like in their 31, 32, like McCourty and stuff like that. I feel like you don't have to be as fast to be out there, on the island as a corner, but.
The beauty of our defense, though, is we don't really need safety. It's kind of like
we saw LaMarcus Joyner be a good safety
you just
in that
put
defense.
A guy there, just plug and play.
Ashton Davis, he's
Ashton
taking the lead. I hope we re-sign him because I think he's a cool guy because he's like a Swiss Army knife in the sense that like you see him on specials and making plays. He ran the fake punt against the Dolphins, which got stuffed. Which that was terrible.
Wasn't it like 4th and 4?
It felt like it.
Runs up the gut. And it's like, bruh.
And he was like standing over the long snapper, so it was obvious. Anyways,
cursed.
But anyway, but he like makes plays. He has that. There's that one stat where it was like he has the highest per snap
Yeah.
turnover rate
Yeah.
because he's never on the field, but when he is, he gets
It's
picks
like-
for some reason or
It's like
fumbles. It's
0.8,
weird.
0.8
Yeah.
every 2 plays. He just
Literally.
gets a turnover.
So I think that'd be good. Now going into the draft, I know what you wanted to do. You
Oh.
mentioned last week,
Yeah.
trading down.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
And taking, and recuperating some picks and then trying to get a trade for a guy like Devontae. Let's say you're sitting there at 5 and you have the option between who's that other not Marvin Harrison Jr., but there's that other receiver. Let's say
LSU
yeah.
receiver.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name? It's I'm gonna Google it right now.
Okay. Let's say you're sitting there. Let's say the Jets are sitting around 8 or 9. The top tackles are off the board.
Yeah.
There's the secondary tackle
Malik
options.
Neighbors.
Thank you. And Malik Neighbors is
Yeah.
there. Are you okay with taking a Malik Neighbors? Is that like a guy that you'd be okay with, or do you really want to go all line with that? Like, what would be your secondary position is what I'm asking.
Tackle or just guard, really?
You still want all line? Yeah.
I still want
Because we can move
O-line.
AVT out to tackle
Yeah.
if need be. Yeah.
I think in that
So there's-
I think in that position, if Neighbors is there, you trade back to a team that wants a receiver, and you just take either best available O-line or
Gotcha.
just best available player.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I definitely thought maybe you'd want something like a receiver pick, because I don't think that's a terrible take, but I do agree
Yeah.
that I think O-line is definitely the front
I
position.
genuinely think that we can get Devontae for pretty cheap, honestly, because he's owed so much money. It's a ridiculous amount of
It
money.
kind of depends how the Raiders finish off the year too, because maybe if they sneak into the playoffs, maybe he ends up-
they change.
they keep their coach. But
I
that's
just think
big what if.
like if maybe I read into it too much, but I think if Rodgers texted like Devontae, called him, hung out with him, and was like, "Do you want to come to the Jets?" Devontae would be like, "Yeah, let
Rodgers
me go request a trade right now." kinda
Rodgers
deal.
said that he would do some recruiting, so
"Yeah, he's gonna." I saw a Theo Ash, shout out Theo Ash tweet.
Theo
It was
Ash.
like, it was like he was replying to that tweet, and he was like, it was a picture of all the upcoming Packers free agents, and he was like, "Feast your eyes, Jets fans."
okay.
And it was like
did see
AJ
that.
Dillon and stuff like that. Oh, that's pretty funny.
That is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, we should sign AJ Dillon. That'd be a sick compliment to
AJ
Brees.
Dillon.
Just a bruiser. Put him in there.
Man, but like when I watch AJ Dillon, he just like doesn't do it at the right time when you want him to. It's
True,
because I had
true.
when Aaron Jones went down in fantasy, I
Yeah.
picked up AJ.
You think you're like, oh, he's RB1.
Yeah.
And he's not RB1.
No.
He's RB0.
Then the other guys got hurt.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on here to the exciting part. I've
Oh.
just been looking forward to this all week. It's
I'm
time for the
nervous.
first installment of Name That Jet. Now I'm gonna start doing that. Woo! We need the applause sign flashing. Okay, so I got a couple of just clues here.
Should I just only listen to you? Or should I like scroll as you scroll?
No, you can just listen to me. I
Okay.
mean, if you want to scroll down, you can. I'll read them in order. So
Yeah.
if you want to follow along, I will be
Okay.
doing this in order. There's no
Okay.
spoilers here. It's
Okay.
just I didn't want you to get the clues before, so you could think
Yeah.
on them.
I
you know?
read like the very first line by
That's
scrolling
fine.
down by accident, but
Okay. No, we're ready. So I have 4 different options here, of just some clues of some Jets players. I feel like I have a pretty good random extensive knowledge of random Jets players.
yeah, so we're going to
I feel like you do too,
Yeah.
but I feel like I'm kind of curious to test yours out. Maybe we can do this another week and flip it around, and you do
I would
some
love
of
to try
these
that on you.
and see if I can name these random players. There's nothing going back to like if I go back into like let's say like before the 2000s,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a player that you know.
Yeah.
But I don't even go back before there's nothing 90s to
Okay.
80s, 60s.
Yeah.
It's not
Can you
like
imagine just 80s players?
dude,
on,
like a random guy who was on
yeah,
like the 68.
like a Jag.
Yeah, like
Practice Ross.
no,
guy.
it's gonna be like memorable, like, and I have
Yeah.
like some jokes in here too,
Yeah.
so you'll see. Okay, are you ready to
Yeah.
name that Jet?
I think so.
So first things first, and so I'm just gonna kind of start reading him down, and if you cut me off,
Yeah,
whatever, whenever you
okay.
kind of just when you start feeling guesses, and I'll let you know yes or no, or if you want to know if you're close or whatever,
yeah.
I can
I'm like
help
getting
you out.
warm.
So I also I wrote these down as like if I was the guy. So
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm gonna be saying I. So
Okay.
like I.
Oh,
did this,
okay.
blah, blah,
Okay.
blah.
Yeah.
So I was a 7th round draft pick.
Okay.
I played 4 years with the Jets, 50
Mm.
games.
50 games.
I picked 6th Tom Brady at home.
Ooh.
It was my only career interception,
Ooh.
but it was a pick 6 against the GOAT.
Interesting. Tom didn't have many pick sixes in his career, man.
And so it was at home.
I think he only ever had like 2
That's
against the Jets.
That's a big
yeah.
clue.
Yeah. I think one of them. I know it wasn't this guy.
Yeah.
But one of the guys who picked sixth him, or no, I think Revis may have picked sixth him at one point. I know this isn't Revis, obviously.
Yeah.
I think Cromartie also did. Is that true?
Maybe. I'm thinking of a pick six against the Jaguars, maybe, and then he also had.
Oh,
'cause
maybe.
he did a front against the Bills. He had a couple.
Oh, that might have been
he did a
that.
front flip, I
Yeah,
think.
that's what I'm picturing. Okay, anyways, sorry, continue.
All
I cut
good.
you off.
You're thinking out loud. So
Yeah.
So pick six, Tom Brady at home.
Yeah.
Rex Ryan started me at cornerback for a couple games, so he was a safety.
Interesting.
And we were so
He was a
depleted,
safety.
so depleted at safety
Yeah.
that he moved him to corner. Or sorry,
Yeah.
depleted at corner, they moved him from safety
I
to
have
corner.
an idea. Is there more hints?
There's one more.
Okay.
Do you want to guess?
Give me the
I wore number 39.
39.
Yeah.
Ooh, was his last name Allen?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to remember his first name right now.
I'll pull up the clip here of the interception. It's now that we talked about it this episode of
Yeah.
Random Jets game moments. This game, now that we're kind of getting to it, this was a game where Jeremy Curley had a great touchdown, which Jeremy Curley crossed my mind when putting this list together.
that would have been a good one.
But I didn't. He signed with the Texans after, and then I don't think he did anything. But
Allen, 39.
here we go. Oh, baby. Do you want another hint to his first name?
What letter does it start with?
It starts with A.
Oh, Antonio Allen.
There you go.
Let's go.
One for one. I had to I remember, so when I was doing this, I remembered the article of and I remember during the time, I forget what season it was, where he played corner from getting moved to safety.
Mhm.
And I was like, is that a thing? Is that something that I just made up?
Yeah.
Or was it an actual thing? I looked it up and it was articles about it. I'm like, oh, they actually did do that. So, all right. 1 for 1.
Interesting.
So that's pretty good.
Okay.
That's a, I feel like Antonio
that one was
Allen's-
pretty, that one had me
that's a deep cut, I would
thinking
say.
too.
So that's kind of the extent. So I feel like I don't go much
Yeah.
deeper than that, but maybe I do.
The only reason I know him is, that play, because I used to watch, Jets versus Tom Brady highlights and stuff like that, but also Madden.
True.
That was, the first year I got
He was a
Madden.
Madden guy,
Actually, I got Madden 08.
That helps you learn so much about player names.
Yeah.
Very true. Here's another one. You ready? This one might be
Yeah.
helping with Madden.
Okay.
I was a second-round draft pick. I played for Ohio State. The Jets cut me on May 22nd of 2017.
That's interesting.
I have 1 touchdown in my career as a Jet. I also scored as a Cowboy once.
Interesting.
And this is my last clue.
Yeah.
My knee never gave me a real chance to become the speedster you always wanted.
I'm going to read these again.
Yeah, it's number 2.
1 touchdown in my career.
I can tell you. So,
Ohio State.
do you know the position? Because I guess I don't really have the position.
Speedster makes me think receiver, but I feel like this guy's on the tip of my tongue right now.
We have a lot. We have a pretty extensive
We have an
list of
extensive-
receivers,
yeah.
but none of them. And then before Garrett, none of them went to Ohio State. So that's the tip. That's
Yeah.
the big tip there. It wasn't. So I can give you some.
So he wasn't drafted by the Jets.
he was.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Ohio State.
And then he scored a
receiver.
touchdown with the Cowboys years later, and I was like, he's still in the league. And that was I think he only has 2 career touchdowns.
Okay, wasn't. No.
You can throw guesses if you.
Wasn't Chad Hansen drafted in 2017 though? Am I tripping?
It wasn't
right
Chad
now?
Hansen,
Yeah.
but I think so. Darius Stewart was in the same draft, and it's not him either
Yeah.
because he went to Bama.
Oh.
Darius Stewart's crazy because he
Can
was
I
from
have,
Bama.
First letter, first name. Hint?
Sure. Do first letter of his D.
D.
DS are his initials.
DS.
Yeah.
Why am I blanking right now? DS.
If you're allowed to give up,
What do I have to do if I give up?
nothing. You just don't get the point
Okay.
because we're doing 4.
Okay. Oh, and then when I challenge you,
Sure,
later,
it's
then
out of
we'll
4,
see
I
who
guess.
can get. Yeah.
Sure, we can do that. DS played receiver for Ohio State.
I might have to give up here.
Devin Smith.
Devin Smith. Fuck.
Do you know who I'm talking about now?
Yes, I
Number
know who
19.
Devin Smith is.
He
Damn
caught
it.
1 deep ball against the Dolphins
and he
once.
was supposed to be fast, man.
Yeah.
I've totally blanked on the knee thing because I was trying to think of a guy who
He was always hurt.
Yeah, Devin Smith. Damn it. That was a good one. That
Ohio
was a
State.
good deep cut right there.
I got a couple more. This
Okay.
next one's good. So
Okay.
you're 1 for 2, which is good so
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
The Antonio one, Allen one. I'm proud of for you
Yeah.
forgetting.
Thanks,
So
dog.
next one here is the first get clue. Is I'm an NPC.
Yeah.
Doesn't really help much.
NPC, Okay.
I was part of the 2009 and 2010 Jets playoff teams, which is a big clue.
Yeah.
I have 6 career interceptions.
6.
You, I'll say this one for the end. So I'm flipping the last two, but
Okay.
the Jet Press, and I have the link, which is
Okay.
like one of the outlets that covers the team,
Yeah.
listed me as the 10th best safety in Jets history.
Interesting.
10th best safety.
10th best safety.
Oops.
What's going on there?
Opened up our own.
Our own socials.
Yeah. Follow the TikTok, by the
Yeah.
way.
Greg, plug that shit.
Ready for the last one?
Yeah.
You would best know me for missing a tackle on Tim Tebow on Thursday Night Football.
Ooh. Safety.
Yeah.
Thursday night football.
I'll give you a hint. It's not Jim Leonard.
Okay.
Let me know if you want the initials.
Yeah.
ES.
Eric Smith.
There you go.
Nice.
That's
Let's
the guy who wore number 33 before
Yeah.
Jamal.
I was
The
gonna
original.
say that. He was Jamal.
Yeah.
But he was like light skinned too, wasn't he?
when I was compiling this, I found an article like came out like less than a year ago
Yeah.
about how like his body is like messed up now from playing football.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Which is
that.
unfortunate. Eric
That's
Smith, I
sad.
actually like he was sweet 'cause we had 2 like white safeties,
I
undersized.
forgot about him.
Eric
Man,
Smith.
yeah.
But like you remember him missing the tackle on Tim Tebow on that game.
I don't actually.
Oh, really?
No. I just
If
was
you-
thinking like safety.
If Greg looks it up, if you go look up like the Thursday night game with
Yeah.
Tebow, it's like the game-winning play.
Interesting.
Tebow does Tebow time and runs past Eric Smith, who misses the tackle for the game-winning play.
I was just thinking like safety.
Yeah.
And as soon as you said yes, I was like, well, it has to be Eric Smith. But
Okay. Nice. Two.
that was a good one, man. You are hitting it out of the park with because these are tough. I thought maybe I'd begin like
easy. Like I'm
Like-
trying to think of it, like Brandon Marshall or
Yeah,
something.
literally,
No, I'm
like,
trying to think of like
who is Eric Decker?
Yeah.
Something like that. Like
yeah.
so. No, you did good here.
I tried to not give you gimmies. This
Yeah.
next one I feel like is a gimme, so I'm
Okay.
curious to see if
Okay.
you get it.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I was the Jets' leading rusher for a season.
Okay.
In that season, I averaged 3.5 yards per carry.
Okay. So he's doo doo. I think I already know who it is. But
Say it.
No,
say it. No, you can say it.
Okay, you know that I'm just gonna if I don't get this right, this is embarrassing, but there's that one scene, I think it's like that talk show like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Uh-huh.
And there's a guy at the last question.
Calls his dad.
and he calls I'm gonna call my dad right now and be like, yeah, dad.
You're that confident?
Yeah.
I don't
And
need
be
your
like,
help. I'm just calling to
yeah.
let you know that I won the $1 million.
Yeah, that's me right now. And
Okay.
I'm gonna say Frank Gore.
Yeah. I was originally going to do Matt Forte.
Oh, that'd have been good.
Which, because I'm like, that's a deep cut.
Yeah.
But I didn't even get to go through all these. Ugh.
Frank.
But I knew you. How crazy is it that he was the leading rusher that year because we traded Le'Veon Bell?
That's so
cheeks
fun. Oh,
hurt.
the rest of the questions are so good. You should read them
You
out.
yeah. So here's the rest of the prompts. Good
I
job.
would have gone it after the third
See,
one.
I think that was a gimme.
Mhm.
You probably saw me take a dive up the middle for a 1-yard gain.
Mhm.
I should have added on like 3rd and long.
That's so funny.
I have played for 5 teams in the NFL.
If I was wrong,
And
then
then
it's so funny.
And then I caught it. This one gave it away. I caught a short pass that resulted in the Jets winning
Oh,
a
yeah.
game that moved them from the first pick to the
that
second
was a
pick.
gimme, too.
Frank the
That Frank.
Tank.
I love Frank Gore, man.
It kind of just became a meme. Like it was like when he was like when we traded Bell. It was
Yeah.
like literally we were watching games of Frank Gore in like 2020.
Yeah. That was
I looked at
wild.
like his stats when I was doing this, and I was like, he's gonna make the Hall of Fame because he's the 3rd leading rusher, or 2nd or whatever. But like he never really had like that one amazing season.
No, he
just
didn't.
he
He
just
was
was
consistent.
consistent of like 1,000 yards.
I had him in fantasy a bunch of years, and he'd always just get you like 10 points.
He was insane in the playoffs for them
Yeah.
with the 49ers when like they needed him for years.
totally
I always
forgot about
liked him. He was a Colt. He was a Colt, Dolphin, Bill, Jet,
And he was like,
and he never was a Patriot. Should have been a
he
Patriot.
never had any like issues either. He would just show up and play.
Yeah,
Sick.
and his son's playing now in college, and he'll
That's
be in the NFL.
crazy.
in a
And he
year
was
or
like,
two.
wasn't he just fighting someone like boxing or something?
Yeah. I also saw a clip of Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson boxing.
Oh,
and-
yeah,
and
I've
Le'Veon
heard
Bell
of
knocked
that.
him out.
Man, this was fun. I can't wait to do it for you.
Okay, yeah, you got to put something together now next time and
Okay.
go through. So that was 4. That was the first episode of Name That Jet. I feel like that was some pretty good deep cuts. I
Dude.
wasn't trying to get like super deep.
Yeah.
But
honestly, Antonio Allen,
that pick 6 is
that's-
one of my favorite plays ever.
Last episode I talked about the Ratatouille thing. That was Ratatouille there
Yeah.
again. I teleported back to being a child. That was
Cool.
good. That was a nice trip down memory lane.
No, thanks, man.
It's fun. I'm glad
Thanks
I
for
didn't.
playing.
Yeah, spoil it.
We'll
for
definitely do
myself.
something like that again.
Hell yeah.
I think this will result in some good little
Instead of talking
bits.
about the team, we're just gonna do this every pod now.
Yeah. I mean, we'll touch again on the team in the future. This is kind of us testing out some of the new structure. I think we're gonna try and play. You know, we want the off season to be, and obviously we're not gonna be talking about the current state of the team.
Yeah.
It's fun to look back.
It
It's fun to
is.
look back
It
and
is.
and there's a lot of funny and random things that in Jets history that like are fun to talk about.
For sure.
And like
But,
even looking back at some of these teams, man, I had some good chuckles. Like thinking of like the Antonio Allen, Rex Ryan being head coach. Like there's just so many random games and moments.
Ridiculous, Rex
Like
Ryan.
in the intro, I was this close to having like a Rex Ryan clip of like him being like, "Let's go eat a goddamn snack" in the new intro that I made. Or
Yeah, you could have Herman there too if you
yeah,
want. Like,
true. You play to
Yeah.
win the game. That's a good one too. My favorite one always.
I feel like we get like a cease and desist from Herm if you.
now
put
we
that
have now I
in
want to
there.
go on a whole tangent of like epic sideline rants and how that's like
Yeah.
not a thing anymore. You don't see Saleh being like, you know, like they are who we thought they were.
Yeah, he just comes in.
We let him off the hook.
He laughs a bit. He's like,
I know. Saleh-isms.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, credit to them. They competed hard.
yeah.
You know, they got 32 guys on the other. I don't know, 32. They got 54 guys on the other team that get paid just as we do.
He's got the shiniest head of all time
And and it's like, well, why'd you pull Zach
and the
there?
most
it's like,
symmetrical face.
you're just trying to get a jump start going. You know, No, credit to him. He's a great player. It's like,
Mm.
okay, what, like, yeah. So, I guess, like I always say, it's like it's great when you're winning, but when when you're losing,
Yeah.
it's you want to smash your head against the wall. So
true, so true.
And with that, look at that, crushed 35 minutes.
Hell yeah.
With that, this is another episode of Jets Up North. This has been episode 18. We're getting close to 20. Very exciting. Thanks for flying with us.
Oh, should we do a score prediction for who do we even play?
Browns. I think we get thumped by the Browns.
I'm gonna say 30-1 Browns.
If
Is that
they
even one?
if they had Nick
30-2.
yeah,
30-2.
the inaugural 1 point,
Yeah.
a half safety.
Yeah.
30-2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say the Jets lose in a close one. 24-10.
Okay.
That's a close one.
That's a close one by
Yeah.
Jet standards.
Yep. I said earlier that I think we split those games. If I were to guess, I think we beat the Commanders and lose to the Browns. The Browns with Joe Flacco, man, like their defense is so good.
What if we
They were
play
what
them
we should have done this
And
year.
we're up like
And Joe
several
Flacco does the
scores.
same
Yeah,
comeback?
and he
I wouldn't
returns
even be
the
mad.
favor. That would be hilarious.
Speaking
To
of,
Elijah Moore.
speaking of games, same play over the middle. Speaking of games that we'll forever remember, that's one too.
The Browns, yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
Then probable. Even the Giants won this year is pretty crazy. Didn't end with anything positive. But
Yeah.
I feel like last year overall was a more positive season than this one.
Oh, 100%. I
But-
totally agree, which is hilarious, but whatever.
Anyways, that is it from us. We'll be back again next week with another banger. Thanks again for tuning in. Until then, peace.
Peace.